I was just thinking, Mr. President, that there are two things going through my mind as you were speaking. One of them is the issue of the PIB. Would it help in creating an enabling environment that we always talk about if it is passed? And then two, I was also looking at it and thinking that I'll let you answer the first question.
PIB, you must have gone through it. Definitely it's designed to open up the oil industry. Already you are aware of the local content or the Nigerian content law. Of course, it has taken off. But without the PIB, it will not be as robust as we would expect. The new law even makes NNPC to function more and compete with others, especially the NPDC, the petroleum arm, the mining arm of NNPC, to operate freely as an oil company, source for funds, just like any other oil company. So if we pass the PIB, there are some kind of jobs that it will be open up for Nigerians to do. So in terms of wealth creation, in terms of empowering Nigerians, much, much better. In terms of approach to the management of the oil industry, also better. That's why all the oil companies are interested. Nigerian government is interested. Everybody is interested. Foreign, all those who invest in oil are interested.
So will it help to encourage and support and even do things that will push the Seventh Assembly to make sure that they speedily make this happen?
Yes, that's what we are doing. It will help if they pass. And that's why we are passionate about the PIB.
Okay, I'll let you.
So we want to start early. You know, the PIB get to them. I think it was in towards the end of the second year. Just know our own period is for 4 years is quite short, and that's why the election. So this time around, I want to make sure that it gets into their first 12 months. So before they complete their, of course, something they have discussed. Quite a number of them are still in the parliament. Of course, the Senate President has been a part of it, he's been there before. The Speaker was also an House officer before. So it's not, though there are so many changes, but the leadership of the National Assembly are all the second time or third time parliamentarians. So they will help to push it.
Okay.
Mr. President, I just want to take your mind back to what you just told in the course of the discussion. You had wide consultation with the various Nigerian societies, segment of Nigerian society, the labor, student body, civil society, traditional rulers, and I know by now you have feedback. You know, I just want you to gauge your experience, what you have received so far from the responses of the people, coupled with what we're getting from even the labor, because I know labor has been talking about mass revolt, strike, nationwide strike, calling people on the streets, and creating that kind of fear. How will you be able to do? How do you think you'll be able to manage this? You know, with what the feedback we're having from the various segments of society.
We manage very well because our interactions with these various bodies are quite positive, especially the young people. Because most of them come and say, yes, Mr. President, we don't want people to borrow money for us to come and pay. Yeah, and if I'm a young person, I will not accept that Mr. President should borrow money for me to come and pay. So they are quite positive. I think the area that people are a bit apprehensive is that, okay, Mr. President, yes, we are quite see with you, because there's no way a country as big as Nigeria will continue to borrow the whole of your capital budget. What will you do? But then, are you sure these projects you are promising, you will do it? I think when they go through our share program, some of them get excited. They say that even if you can do only this, even if you don't have any other project in your capital budget, which we have in the normal capital budget, in the next 3 years, that Nigeria will take off. They are passionate, they believe in it. But say, are you sure you will do it? They say, we will do it. If we don't, you have something that we have produced. At the end of the first 12 months, you can assess us by what we have produced. And I used to compare during Abacha's time when they increased the pump price of petroleum products and they set out the petroleum PTM. that time, the government did not mention any project they wanted to do with the money. They just invited Buhari because Buhari is a credible person. Nigerians believe that it's not corrupt. And Abacha just invited him, come and head the PTI. So whatever we gain from this, use it to develop. And they tried. But now, over the period, the confidence of people in the government has dwindled so badly. If we just say, look, we will use the money positively, we will say, no, 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 if you want to deceive us. And that is why we took pains to develop that booklet and state projects that we are going to intervene. So you have the benchmark to assess. And we are not going to wait until 2013 before we start the projects. Immediately, the deregulation commences. Of course, the projects will begin. Some of them are already projects that are ongoing, but because of lack of funds, we cannot. So we are not even awarding new contracts in those. Those are the low-hanging fruits that will quickly pay the contractors. And they move in. We can borrow, because we can borrow, we can fly bonds as long as we are sure to we'll get the money. And those who key into the bond market, immediately they know you can. So immediately we know we have deregulated and the money is coming. In January, February, we can raise money to pay. So you don't have to wait until you earn the money. Because as long as you are sure that the money will come, you can.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll break the line of questioning and let Steve...
Please, do follow up on the consultations she talked about. You've talked to labor, organized private sector, all kind of... But remember, Mr. President, the more than 80% of us, or far more than that, we are not unionized. So what happens, how are we getting this same message down to these other people? Because what I'm concerned about, probably a security spin-off. You remove this subsidy, we roll it on, and then labor says, okay, even if labor says we key in, organized private sector says we key in. What about these other people who are not on any union, who don't have any other way of expressing themselves? Are you foreseeing a security situation? Because they will want to, they might not even have the fallback to wait for 3-4 weeks for the regulation to begin to yield benefits.
We don't discuss with only unions. No. The laborers are just one group. So the other groups we discuss with are not people that are unionized. And I quite agree with you that, of course, the rest of Nigerians have not heard from us, because the meetings were held in confined halls. So there's a limit you can bring people. And even the labor, we did not say that they should stay there and tell us that we have agreed or we don't. Because we discussed with the leadership. They must go back and discuss. So during the discussion, we did not even encourage them to say we are supporting or we are not supporting. But we share ideas, just like we are discussing now. We explain why we must deregulate. They raise questions, we answer. But at the end of the interactive session, what I'm saying is that all these various interactions have been very, very fruitful. It's not as if labor have told us, oh, we are supporting deregulation. No. But they were well informed about why we must deregulate. You know? And that's why we are even here talking about deregulation today. Though I said that for every quarter, I will have a phone-in program so that I will be interacting with Nigerians. So people who have issues to raise, be able to raise. The one that I have answers, I will give them. The ones that I don't have answers, I will say, don't worry. I will look into this matter. I will get back to you, either in the next round of discussion or even maybe before that time I will have sorted out the problem. I will be doing that quarterly, at least. But one of the reasons why we are concentrating on deregulation is because of the issues of the moment. And that's why yesterday there was a town hall meeting in Lagos where the Minister of Petroleum spoke, the Finance Minister, who is also the Minister that coordinates all the economic activities, spoke, the Central Bank Governor spoke, and of course others spoke. The idea is to pass the information for more enlightenment. And as long as we get enlightened, we get aware. Even if you want to move them to go against the government, they will begin to resist. Especially the young people. And I used to ask the young people, if you say the president, Mr. President, just be borrowing, yes, I will be borrowing to run the government. What will we pay? The debt. You know that if you borrow money, you don't pay immediately. I used to give example. We borrow 1.something trillion to fund our capital budget this year. Of course, we have to pay back next year. What we have in budget to pay back is 560 billion. That's just about 50% of the amount we borrow. So that means that 50% has been carried forward. Maybe next year we borrow another 1.something trillion. Then maybe 2013 we pay about 50%. That means that. So every 2 years probably accumulating 1.something. That's the time I will leave. We pay the debts.